Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Jada Toys Scooby-Doo Shaggy Rogers, the sort of first main character in the first wave of the Jada Scooby-Doo line. I slept on this a little bit. I love Scooby-Doo. I love, the characters. I love the designs of these, but I was like, I don't know if I need another, line. But then, Street Fighter from Jada is absolutely killing it. The food mascots from Jada are absolutely killing it. Everybody told me that I needed this figure. That this was sort of as good, if not better, than sort of the rest of the Jada stuff. So here we are, taking a look at the figure. And depending on how I feel about this, I might get the monsters as well. I'm definitely sort of down for the for the gang. Um but monsters I'll be probably a little bit choosier with. Anyway, let's take a look at the box. So the box is very unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. You can see that there's sort of like what looks like a glare on the front of the box, but it's not. It's like mist or sort of fog or sort of cloud. And you can see when I move it that that doesn't move. So that's just printed on the clear window, which is an interesting move because you kind of think, okay, we put this window on here so that you can see what's in the box, but that's obstructed by the mist. But I think it really, really works, for Scooby-Doo in particular. I don't think you could do this with most other lines. I don't think you'd want to do this with most other lines, but it really does work for this. Scooby-Doo on the front, Shaggy Rogers. A nice cutout for the window here with the cardboard, is all cut, so it sort of adds to that misty look. Kind of trees or something mysterious. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, on the one side, we get Shaggy. On the other side, we get Shaggy. It's the same on both sides. On the back, we get a full-size shot of Shaggy and then the whole gang in the Mystery Machine down at the bottom there. Top just has, the window sort of carried over. On the bottom is where you get all the legalese. So a pretty simple, straightforward box, for a pretty simple, straightforward figure, I think. So let's get Shaggy out of the box. All right, so here's Shaggy looking like he walked right out of a frame of the cartoon. This figure is awesome. It's Shaggy. I mean, it's crazy. The colors are great. The sculpt is really, really good. The head is very, very impressive. My only sort of nitpick is that the goatee, the stubble, the scruff on the chin is just painted on, whereas I kind of hoped that maybe it would be sculpted in some way or textured or something like that. I wonder if it's just going to rub off over time if I play with it enough. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to play with it so much that I get the paint off there. But still, that's, I got to find something to complain about, because otherwise, this thing is darn near perfect. The articulation is great. The proportions are great. Everything about it is great. For articulation, he's got articulation at the neck, as well as at the top of the head, so you can kind of get his head sort of craned out like that if you need to when he's running or something like that. His arm will go all the way around, and it'll go above a T-pose. And, articulation-wise, the arm has a cut sort of up inside the shirt. Jada does a really good job of sort of putting articulation wherever they can. And that's a really good example of that. There's a double-jointed elbow that is really, really impressive considering how skinny that arm is. Hinge at the wrists as well as rotation at the wrist. Diaphragm cut. There's a waist cut as well. Underneath a soft sort of rubber shirt. The upper part of the shirt and the lower part of the shirt are actually different plastics, and they do a really good job of blending those with sort of a what I think is kind of a wash to sort of make the two look a little bit more similar. Double jointed knees, which will kick all the way up to the butt. Again, relatively skinny legs, so that's pretty impressive. But to get him into some of the, I'm thinking like cartoon running poses, some of this articulation is really going to come in handy. There is articulation at the ankle as well, so the foot is on a disc, and then you have rocker as well. So he can kind of pose however you'd want a cartoon to pose for the most part. I don't know if he's going to hit a hero pose, but it's Shaggy. He's not going to hit a hero pose. I will point out, because it's I think it's significant for a skinny slacker, the fact that his arms just kind of hang straight down by his side is impressive. A lot of times you get like a military action figure or something like that, a little more muscular action figure, and their arms really will only go like that. But with this guy, I think having his arms be able to just sort of hang at his side is pretty impressive and pretty important, believe it or not. So I'm very, very happy about that. Very, very happy about the figure overall. And I mentioned that he sort of jumps straight out of the cartoon. He has some accessories that sort of jump straight out of the cartoon as well. So let's take a look at Shaggy's accessories. All right, so out of the box, he comes with sort of two open hands. You do get one more set of hands, and they are still open hands. There's no trigger hands, there's no fists, there's no nothing like that. But it's Shaggy, so you just get open hands and other open hands. I think, what he's going to need to hold, he's going to be able to hold in the hands that came on the figure in the box. And then those are just, the bonus ones, I suppose. But all of them kind of work as sort of generic cartoon character hands. What isn't generic, though, he gets the sort of smiling face, the kind of goofy Shaggy smiling face. But then you get a scared, screaming Shaggy face as well, which is great. I think, to pose him up running away from monsters, this is it. Like, this is the head, and it feels, again, just so dang accurate. Like, it's just jumped right out of an episode, which is very, very cool. It's not going to stand up, so it's whatever. It is what it is. And then we get, an awesome little Scooby Snacks box here as well, which is done really well, sculpted really well, to have the box open like that. Instead of having just sort of a little box that's closed, we actually get Scooby Snacks in there. There's sort of sculpted brown Scooby Snacks in there. And then if that's not quite enough for you, we even get a single Scooby snack, which I'm sure is going to get lost. A lot of people are not going to sort of have the Scooby snack for long. But you can chuck it in the box there if you want, and it actually stays in there surprisingly well if it sort of gets in there at the right angle, which I'm shocked by. I don't know if that's by design or that's just coincidental, but yeah, you get a Scooby snack and it fits in there, and it stays in there pretty good. The head won't stand up, so that's what you get. There's the accessories. I'm gonna get Shaggy posed up a little bit and give my overall impressions. All right, so there's Shaggy. As I expected, the hands that sort of came on the figure in the box were the hands that I needed to hold the Scooby Snacks, both the single Scooby Snack as well as the box. He's just a really, really good, fun figure. Just a fun, cartoon accurate figure with just a really good, I don't know, it's just a fun action figure, and I feel like there's not enough figures that are just sort of made to be fun. I think Jada gets it. I think Jada sort of gets that toys can be and should be fun, and just about everything that they have done to this point, for sort of what I've collected at least, has just been absolutely stunning figures. They're doing really, really great work at Jada. I'm very, very impressed. I will say this, after getting Shaggy, I now, firmly want the whole gang. I definitely want a mystery machine to go with them. And then as far as the monsters go, there's a bunch of them that I want. In the first three waves that they've sort of released and or revealed, I'm leaning towards all of them. So stay tuned. I may have I may have more videos with more Scooby-Doo figures sooner rather than later. But if you're still on the fence about the Scooby-Doo stuff, I think, honestly, personally, I think this is a line that isn't necessarily going to last forever. I think it's a line that definitely has, only so many waves that I think that they could potentially make before, the momentum just kind of, runs out. If they do one main character and two monsters per wave, 6, 7 waves, maybe 8, 8 3-figure waves. You're looking at 24 figures. So it's not like you're gonna be in this for the rest of your life and have hundreds of Scooby-Doo figures. So I think it's kind of one of those ones where if they do 1 or 2 waves a year, you're pretty safe collecting this. I don't think it's going to hurt your wallet as much as some other companies, some other lines, some other IPs. So this is one that I would strongly recommend you pick up. I think Shaggy's starting to get a little bit harder to find. He is still out there. Obviously, I got one. But don't wait. Don't wait. I think you'll be kicking yourself, 2 or 3 waves from now if you try to jump in and you have to hunt down a Shaggy later. So go get yourself a Shaggy Rogers from the Jada Scooby-Doo line. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you don't want to miss future videos, hit the bell icon to get notifications. Until next time, bye-bye. I legitimately had no idea that his last name was Rogers.